can also use with their colleagues to show that the township has taken this seriously and is seeking assistance.
That's widespread.
Yes. I think it'll mean more, and the reason I use an example like Kent Water is to show that, you know, there are communities all up and down the west side of Michigan who are dealing with this, and the more of us who can put that out there that we're hurting, I think the more likely we are to get state and federal support. Again, acknowledging we're not the only ones facing this issue, but we are definitely dealing with our fair share of the problems.
Well, I move to authorize Manager Graham to draft a resolution acknowledging the challenges regarding Lake Shore Drive and present it back to the board.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. I think the only thing left is the motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Well,
we have
public comment. Oh, public comment, sorry. I tried. Public comment. For those who would like, anybody who would like to come and make a public comment.
No, I'm sure. What's the one? The public comment.
I wrote something by it, so.
Okay, Don Skipper again. Haven't moved 3438 Riverside Drive. And I'm speaking for a group because this is going to take 5 minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
You may.
We addressed this issue with Griffin about a month ago, just because when we got the initial assessment for our REUs and noted that we were being treated as a factory, we said, well, that's kind of harsh. We're a greenhouse, we're not a factory. And I said, there's got to be another category. That's when we set about that semi-exhaustive research, trying to find every township that had REUs listed on the internet. And we pulled off every one that we could find, which was about 15 or 16 of them. Only one of them, as you know, had a greenhouse REU, and that was Leelanau Township. But why can't we be treated as a greenhouse? And then we checked our REU classification, which isn't easy to find, by the way, on your website, and saw that there wasn't one. There wasn't even anything that looked like it. But then we said, we're running a legal operation and being quite open about it, and it just seems like people in township and otherwise around the state do illegal operations under the guise of being warehouses, and thought, well, there's got to be a solution to being treated with, instead of being treated with a nasty 8.8 whatever REUs for a facility that's 11,800 square feet. Why couldn't we be treated like a factory, or not like a warehouse, like everyone else who happens to be growing illegally and not paying taxes and not supporting the state with any form of revenue whatsoever? And besides, our facility is by and large disconnected in the most part from the sewer system, except for the employee bathrooms and the break room area. Everything gets recycled. We recycle 85 to 90% of our water, and then disconnect over 75% of the building from the sewer system. So we are highly in support of suggestion number 3, using a metered rate. We're happy to pay not sure how to work that out, but pay the sum ahead of time and then see what happens over the next year or two. The other alternative, we thought that it wasn't going to be the typical. We are certainly not interested in funding another engineering study. They each run 4 or 5 figures, probably 6 for a total REU evaluation. We thought, is it possible that this board can ask Mr. Bird, is a factory the most appropriate thing here? Why can't it be treated as a warehouse that's a low-impact warehouse, just like other individuals or other neighboring structures? We're all treated as warehouses. We just hate being penalized by doing something
more public comment?
Hello again, Scott Stern.
Oh, hi,
East 162 Riverside. I think what I've heard expressed or what occurred earlier is that the normal process for getting a design for improvement or changes to a road is to advance the work order to the county commission. And I guess my interest or concern or curiosity about that is it would seem to me that, granted they probably have the experience and the resources to deal with that kind of a project, and that's good because that's part of what we're paying our county taxes for, but it also seems to me on some level that doesn't that move the design process from the grassroots level at the people on Riverside up past the township to the county. And again, if that's part of the process and that's where, you know, people are who have the resources to do it, that's okay. But I'm curious then, at what point do the residents who live there have insight into and an opportunity to have input into the design process? Because it seems possible, and I'm learning as I go here, but it seems possible that if this is handed off to the county, and from what Mr. Atwood told me, it sounds as if he tends to kind of treat that on a item-by-item basis. He looks at a particular piece of property or road, and if he identifies something there that needs to be addressed, he goes to that property owner. And then so on down the line, property by property. I'm just wondering, at what point do the residents have input? What if they have insights that would contribute to a better plan? At what point are those introduced, or what point is the opportunity there for them to provide those or give that input to the county? And then what comes back here, and what's the timing of that coming back here, and then what happens from there? Is it like how much back and forth is possible, or encouraged, or allowed, or whatever? Is it, you know, what I'd be concerned about is if what the county came up with for Riverside was something that was presented in total as a finished work, and then it was a pass fail kind of thing. And I'm just open to anybody's input or answers that they have, because I'm just not sure how the process works there. But I think that the people that I've spoken with would very much like to have input, and they feel like they have some constructive ideas of solutions that could address some of the situations that we do know exist because we have done the surveys. And it's in Mr. McEnroe's letter, but it's not an open question. A good portion of the end of Riverside lies on his private property, and he is opposed to having it continue to exist on his private property. He would like the right-of-way respected. So the idea that the road wouldn't be relocated is probably something that is going to come under some contest at some point. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?